they had a lot of good open looks. Was that defensive breakdowns, or was that part of the strategy to see if they can make shots?
I mean, ultimately, a team like that's going to get some open shots. They have a guy who draws a lot of attention. A couple guys who can draw a lot of attention. And they got a bunch of shooters. So that's the way their offense is designed. You're not going to completely take that away. Like, you have to try to make the shots tough as you can. And hopefully the ones that you can make tough can affect the ones that they get open. But that's the way their team is built. So, you don't – everybody knew they were built that way. Like, you don't just get to the Western Conference Finals not being elite at what you do. And they are elite at what they do. They create open shots, and they knock them down. They missed them last night. We got to do a better job defensively and not giving up so many open ones. But, I mean, that's what they do, and they're good at it.
Draymond, Steve the other day said when you look to score, he sees victory. When you're obviously facilitating and defense are, really big staples of your game, is there like a flip or a switch you flip kind of when you say, okay, this game I am going to really look to score versus when you maybe pass up more open looks to pass out to someone else?
Yeah, there are games where I go in and say I want to be super aggressive, and others where I don't feel I need to be. But when I feel I need to be aggressive, I get aggressive.
What's the deciding factor in I'm going to be aggressive?
It just sometimes depends on how a team is guarding me. If they're playing way off, if they're trying to cheat into my passing lanes and stuff, just break them down a little bit, make them pay for it. But, I usually decide based off of how a team is guarded.
Draymond, Eddie over here asked Steve a little bit ago just if he expects this series to get testier, nastier. And Steve said, yes, absolutely. I mean, this is playing for high stakes right now. I mean, you ride on those emotions for your game. Do you kind of agree that things will go up a notch?
I think it'll get a lot more physical, but I don't think testy or nasty, because we're not a testy or nasty team, and they're not a testy or nasty team. Will it get more physical? Of course. It's the Western Conference Finals. It's going to be physical. But I can't foresee it getting testy and nasty. That's just not the way these two teams are built, or, we don't. Memphis is a testy team. They're a nasty team. That's their MO, what they call it, grind city or grind house or grind something or something like that. Like, that's who they are. That's not who Dallas is, and that's not who we are. So I don't expect it to get testy and nasty, but it will be physical. And physical last night.
And how much did Steph setting the tone on the rebounding matter to you guys to get out and get some transition opportunities?
Well, it's always great when you can get your guards rebounding. When that guard is Steph, it's incredible because the break just goes right away. And so he was absolutely incredible on the boards last night. We always speak about Steph being a great rebounder. He's an incredible rebounder. And, I mean, that's hard to guard in transition when he gets the ball and just take off. So whenever he's rebounding like that and then pushing, that's good for us.
Finney Smith, I'm sure he's not alone among NBA players, but Finney Smith likes shooting threes in front of the opposing bench and turning and saying something or motioning. Last night, you kind of flipped the script and blocked his three-pointer right in front of the Dallas bench. I wonder what kind of, message that sends from a defensive standpoint.
Just that we're not going to give up anything easy. I didn't really know about the whole in front of other team's bench and say something. I feel like most guys say something when they hit a team three in front of the bench, because when you shoot a three in front of the bench, everybody from the opposing team yells something. And so it's kind of a natural reaction for guys to turn around and say something. So I didn't really know anything about that or make anything of it more so than that. But, yeah, I mean, I felt really good about that play because I closed a lot of space. And so I was just excited about the play. I didn't really think I was, like, sticking it to them or anything like that. It's just a fun play to make.
Draymond, hi. Klay Thompson talked yesterday about, he's still working to get back to pre-injury Clay. And he obviously has overcome 2 very serious injuries and missed significant time. But I'm just curious on what you've thought about him and how far he's come and where he's at, in terms of getting back to 2019.
I think he's absolutely amazing. I think from where he's come from January 9th to today is incredible. Being able to compete at this level and do it at, after what he's gone through is amazing. I've been seeing these narratives about like, oh, Klay Thompson this, Klay Thompson that. And he hasn't hit shots at the rate that he hits shots. But it further shows me how people don't know basketball, because I've been seeing these narratives like Klay's playing bad. And I actually be leaving the game like, man, he's playing really good basketball. And so, yeah, it really just goes to show me how people can only identify if you're making or missing a shot. Because the game he's been playing on the floor and impacting winning has been the same Klay I've always been in battles with in the playoffs. So I think it's pretty funny, the narrative around. And I hope he don't believe that narrative. And it kind of sounds like he does, to say, oh, I'm still working to get back. No, the hell, he back. You miss and make shots all the time. I seen him. Y'all remember that shooting slump Klay had where it was ridiculous? I don't even remember what it was, but it was pathetic. And maybe he broke out of it with like 60 or something like that. Was he working his way back then? Or was he just in the shooting slump? And now are we going to say, oh, man, he's still working his way back? No, give that man his credit and what he's doing on the basketball floor. He's playing incredible basketball. If I had one complaint, it's always that we can get you any easy shot you want, and you don't have to take a tough shot. But that's Klay Thompson. He's going to take tough shots, and he's going to make some tough shots, and you got to live with that. So, yeah, people every day just further proves how they don't know basketball. And it's I get a kick out of it.
Following up on that, what have you seen from Klay's defense? Because he was such an established two-way player before his injuries. I
thought his defense has been really good. I think when he's picked up guys that he need to pick up, he's guarded them well. I thought, if you look at any series, he went and made it hard on Monte Morris when Monte Morris was getting off. Nobody wanted to speak on that. When Steph wasn't on Desmond Bain, it was Klay. Nobody wanted to speak about that. When it wasn't Wiggins last night, it was Klay. Nobody's going to speak about that. So I think his defense has been pretty good. Is he playing the same defense? Our game plan against Memphis was to pick up Ja lower, as everyone could see, the one person we had a problem with doing it? It's Klay, because he runs out there and pick a guy up. That's how he defends. And so this whole notion, again, maybe I'm watching a different game, but the game I've been watching, he's been defending well, he's been rebounding well, he's been boxing out, he's been doing all the little stuff that non-basketball watchers or readers or analysts or whatever you want to call the people that make this stuff up can't see. And trust and believe, I know people can't see it because apparently I still suck. So I know what people can't see. And the things that he's doing, I'm 1,000% certain people don't see it. That I've been certain of that for 10 years now. And it actually is getting worse. It's not getting better. The amount of people that think they know the game of basketball is crazy. And these notions further prove that for me. Which is great because I continue to laugh at it. It's a really good thing.
Draymond, you've had an opportunity to see Steve Kerr do this for a long time. But what is it like as a player to watch the chess match between him and opposing coach, whether it's Jason Kidd or anybody else?
It's fun to go to battle with him because very rarely does he fail. Very rarely do I go into a game thinking he didn't give us an amazing game plan. And so the confidence that he has around this time of year is incredible. And you feed off it. Like, going in, like, he feels confident about our game plan. And so you feel confident about the game plan. And then you go play hard and you execute it. Incredible. He's been an incredible coach to play for in these situations. Because he prepares he, including our coaches, that they prepare us for everything. Like, I can't recall a game that we go into not prepared. It feels a lot like I felt at Michigan State, where there was not going to be a team that came into a game more prepared than us, especially not in the NCAA tournament. And that's how I feel with Steve.
Within that space, how do you evaluate what you guys did against Luka, and how does that evolve through the series necessarily? Because they're going to make adjustments. You guys have to as well.
Yeah, they'll make adjustments. As everyone does, we have some adjustments that we are making. But I thought, that was a good game plan, and it was great execution. None of it works without the other. You can go execute a garbage game plan, you're going to lose, and you can go not execute a great game plan, and you're going to lose. So neither of them works without the other. I thought the game plan was incredible. I thought Wiggins' relentlessness was great. I thought our help side defense was really good. I thought we put it together for the most part on the defensive end, but it all starts with the game plan.
Draymond, given your earlier comment about shots in front of the bench, what's the most clever, repeatable comment either you've made or someone else has made in that situation?
Mine ain't so repeatable. Yeah, mine ain't that repeatable. Mine is filled with a bunch of F-bombs and other words that I won't say. So I can't really give you any of mine. What other guys say, I don't really be trying to hear it. Because as soon as somebody turns and say something, I got a lot to say. So I really don't be caring what they say. Because if you turn and you say something, you never hear the end of it. So I don't really care what they say. If you say something, you got to stand on that forever. So I don't know what they say.
All right, Draymond, random question. In the playoffs, the emotions get heightened, obviously, off the court and especially off the court, maybe. What do you do to get away from that, to kind of chill out, whatever you want to call it, distance yourself?
I don't get away from it. I live that every day of the playoffs. So after the playoffs, I'll be exhausted and emotionally and mentally drained, even more so than physically, because I don't try to get away from it. I may take a day every blue moon in the playoffs to try to say, all right, I'm getting away from it. But you got to live this. You got to feel it. You got to breathe it. Like, you can't get away from this. If you get away from this during the playoffs, you're losing your mojo. Like, you're not going to win if you're trying to get away from this. This is everything you got have to go into this if you're trying to win a championship. So I don't really get away from it, and my family feel that, my friends feel that, everybody around me feel that. I don't get away from it. What am I trying to get away from? A championship? It's enough guys running away from that. I don't need to join that group. So I live and breathe that stress every day, all day. Like, I don't go home right now after this and feel like, oh man, I'm free. Like, nah, I'm doing something to prepare for tomorrow all day till I go to bed. Because that's how you have to win championships. You got to stay in it. If you can't stay in it, you don't deserve to win. You won't win. Because if you're not in it, somebody working to win it. So you'll lose. And I don't like to lose. So I stay in it the whole time till I'm out, or we win or lose. You got to stay in it. I stay in it. That's just how I operate. I don't know how everybody else operates.
That energizes you, I suppose.
100%. Everybody watching. My mom calling me. I'm sorry. Mom, I'm doing an interview.
Oh, okay. Well, real quick, he died.
All right, Ma, they can hear you.
Oh, okay.
All right, I'm gonna call you back.
All right.
All right. Yeah, she guy passed away who or got killed or something. I don't know. She trying to tell me. I don't even really know. That I grew up with. But I don't know. But yeah, I mean, you have everybody who plays basketball watching. You see all the tweets during the games from players, and like I know I was doing it the last 2 years, so I know you see it. Like players tweeting and like everybody's locked in and watching the game. Like there's no better feeling than that. Like as a player, you know everybody watching you. You got to embrace that. Like so. For me, why would I want to step outside that? Once I step outside, we go back to game 1 of the regular season, which is boring. So I don't need to step outside of it. Like go return to my summer workouts. That's the time and the place for that. It ain't right now. So I embrace it. I love it. It's nothing like it.
Dre, in a series like this where the Mavs are expected to keep taking a lot of threes, how important is it going to be for, the Warriors guards to chase down those long rebounds? And what does that kind of do to the flow of the game?
It's very important. You get those long rebounds, it ignites your transition. So I think it's very important that we come up with those 50-50 balls. Got to come up with those. That's going to be a huge part of the game plan. You shoot long shots, the misses will be long. And we know we have to control that part of the game. And, with them shooting that many threes, if we do control that part of the game, that plays right into what we want to do, which is run.
Question for you, Dre. You guard, you're matched up with Jalen Brunson. And I don't know when you knew that was going to be, but how much of you study the matchup and how you defend when you get the assignment, and how much of it is like you've been playing so long, you kind of know a lot of this stuff already in the players? Like when does that kick in for you?
Guys that I've played a bunch, or have guarded a bunch, I don't really watch much film on. I know what you're trying to get to, and I'm gonna take that away. I haven't guarded him much, so I have to watch film on him. I've watched some. I continue to watch just to try to figure out tendencies and what he likes to get to. Try to be a step ahead and take it away. But you're right. For most guys in this league, I don't have to. I've seen enough. Unless you just miraculously become a different player overnight and have me fooled, kudos to you. And the film I was going to watch wasn't going to show me that anyway if you became somebody different. And if you didn't become somebody different, I know what you're trying to get to. And I don't need to watch much. Jalen Brunson is a little different. I haven't had to guard him much. But for most of these guys, you need to watch a ton of film. Unless you don't watch basketball. I watch a bunch of basketball. I mean, or if you're watching basketball as a fan, which I kind of don't most of the time.
You were talking about everybody's watching. And I remember 7 years ago when you were getting to this stage, it was like Barkley, it was like jump shooting teams can't win. And he was like the villain. And then he comes here last
Chuck finally won something.
And they're going.
Y'all saw that? He won Black Masters. Everybody see that last night? No? Oh, y'all was still working. Yeah, Chuck won the Black Masters. He finally won something. Good for Chuck.
What is that like? Now he's your TV partner, and he's this Warriors kind of villain. They were cheering him last night, and it began with Charles Barkley hating on y'all, and now you're his teammate. What is that like?
If I win another championship, that's one more that's one more ring added to the panel that's not him. And I wouldn't want to see that either. Then you really got to hear about it. So I get it. I understand. I can't, I don't know how that feels. I always won. So I don't know how that feels, but I mean, I guess I feel the same way. y'all just keep adding rings up here, and I gotta just sit here, and when the playoffs come around, what are you gonna say? You gonna tell us how to win? Not taking that advice from Chuck. So what's he gonna say?
Draymond, what do you
tell him I'm gonna get your mama if you keep talking junk to me because y'all won? All right, go ahead, Chuck.
Right, two
That's
more.
my dog, though. I love Chuck. It's my dog.
What do you see as Looney's impact on this series? And do you remember what he was like when he first got here and how he's different now?
It was very frail when he first got here. His impact on the series, and not only this series, it's funny, I was actually just sitting in the back talking to somebody before we watched film and just talking about Looney and like how incredible he's been all year. Like we didn't really have the option of a center outside of him. What did he do? Just played all 82 games. Like go away from him in a series. What does he do? Just stay ready and deliver the biggest game of his career. Guy's amazing. One thing I can say about him from when he was young is the same professional he is today, he was when he came in the league. And when you are that professional, that's a skill. Like professionalism is a skill, and he has it mastered. Like better than me, better than most guys, he has it mastered. And so, I mean, you'd imagine, because I'm talking about professionalism, most people won't equate it to anything. But like when you call somebody a master at something, like there's no level after that. And like he's a master when it comes to professionalism. So to see him have the impact that he does on games, it doesn't surprise me ever because he prepares to have that impact. He constantly gives to this game. You give to this game, you're going to have success. I don't know anyone that just gives, and they don't have some type of success. So his success is earned, and it's not a surprise at all to those that watch him work on a daily.
What do you mean by that he gives to the game?
He works. He's always doing something. He's doing little things to get his body ready. You know, everybody has different bodies. Everybody has different body types. What do you have to do to get your body ready to go? And that's what he constantly does day in and day out. And you just can't say that about, as sad as it is, you cannot say that about many people in this league.
Draymond, I asked Steve a little bit ago, I said, hey, is there a template that you can go back to as far as a game plan to a specific player you've played in the playoffs or a team that's similar to this Dallas team as far as a roster construction or a style?
Houston.
And he mentioned Houston in that. And is that the same answer for you in that? What's the similarity differences between that 2018 Houston team, James Harden, Luka, and this team?
There's a lot of similarities. You got one guy who has the ball a lot, and he makes plays for everybody, and he is incredible at doing it. And you have a bunch of guys that can shoot the lights out the ball, and that guy is good enough to find them no matter where he is on the floor, what position he's in, how many people's around him. There's a lot of similarities. Yeah, I mean, they're definitely similar. I think Luka kind of manages a game like LeBron in a sense, but the way he plays and the way James played and the way that Houston Rockets team played, there's a lot of similarities.